privacy expert lawyer who has been awarded as the Best Cybersecurity Lawyer in 2017 and the National Cyber Defense Award in 2019. He has more than 25 years of all-round IT and law experience and is a lawyer who has been awarded as the Best Cybersecurity Lawyer in 2017 and the National Cyber Defense Award in 2019. He has more than 25 years of all-round IT and law experience and is a He has more than 25 years of all-round IT and law experience and is a published author of more than 8 books on cyber law and cyber crimes. If Sir is there, I want to call upon Mr. Wilson Rao, sir, the our HOD of MSc Big Data Analytics, BSc IT and BVOT SD. We request you to please say a few words before we start, sir.
Yeah, Vedant Gupta. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Great. So after a kind of a break yesterday, we planned out, Mr. Prashant's number, and frantically from 24 hours we were planning to connect, and at last we happened to see Mr. Prashant, and welcome Mr. Prashant into Jain College IT department. And you might have seen that I have given all my students to connect with you, because I feel that they have to learn the nitty-gritties of connecting and handling the this kind of event. And cybersecurity is very much important with reference to today's world. But we happen to do such kind of cybersecurity week every year under the banner of .com Club and IT and software development department. And this is to make aware about the safety and what all things you are aware, you have to do it or not, how the things can be possible, how things can go against you even if you think it is not. So such kind of things we keep making. And we have also called, big time people from the cyber cell, the department from the police. And this is our honor for having you, basically, and our students, especially Vedant and Chahana and all. They were connecting and they were communicating and doing all these things. So welcome, Mr. Prashant, from the college per se, basically. And we look forward for your guidance and your teachings, and to make us aware about some things which the students and the faculties alike can take away from this seminar. So without much further delay, I would like Prashant to start up the session.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me for this session, Vedant and his team. I know yesterday there were some missed things which happened because of my phone. I was traveling to. But let me straightforward get into the point by saying, because my today's topic, what I chose to speak was on pornography. And when I interact with a lot of students across the country, across the world, this becomes a very important topic. Now I'm straight away going to discuss an example which just came to me, like before this pandemic happened. There was this police officer. He was a retired police officer at the rank of senior police inspector. He must have attended some of my sessions at the police academy. So he, along with his son, came frantically waiting for me when I was in the courts in my office. And this young chap, his boy, had taken an admission, Pace University of US, and he was actually going to Pace University, and he landed at Newark Airport. And the moment he landed at Newark Airport, his mobile was he was actually searched, this boy, and later his mobile was searched for. And in mobile, when the mobile was searched for, there was in one of the WhatsApp groups, the lady police officer, a lady, this officer at the airport found out child pornography on his mobile phone. There was a child porn in one of the groups. Now, as what the boy was trying to tell me is that this video was sent to him by his friend, who is already in the university campus in the US. I mean, he has already crossed the airport and gone into the university. And but this guy, who was supposed to join the college after, and it was just only 3 months which was left for his MS, and he was immediately packed up by saying that you have a child porn in your mobile phone, and he was boarded on a next Air India flight and deported with a stamp that he is deported. But because she was a lady officer, she says that I wouldn't spoil your career and will not report to the local police, so you don't land into the problem. And then he was immediately deported in the next flight, and he came to Mumbai. Now, what happened suddenly? Then I suddenly got flurry of cases. Around 13 such boys from the same universities were checked on their mobile phone and got deported. So, what is the takeaway from here is, when you're traveling and you carry your mobile phones in your pockets. And what was the issue with this boy was, he had kept always download option open on the WhatsApp. So he had not opened the WhatsApp even when he landed on the airport. Yet the porn clip which his friend had sent him got downloaded to his mobile phone, and it was very difficult for this boy to explain to this officer that this is not what he has done it, but it happened at an auto mode. But the result was he was deported, and his father, who had spent all his retirement money for sponsoring him for such kind of course, was really in a bad shape. Now, what is the takeaway again? So when you're traveling, whenever you're traveling, please check your mobile phones, off all your phone's auto downloading options. Those notorious groups, every boy and girl has a lot of notorious groups where you get this obscene pictures or porn videos or jokes for that matter, or some memes which are really pornographic. You should either delete those, get out of this group, or whatever. That's called mobile hygiene. So you need to do mobile hygiene when you're traveling, and traveling specifically internationally, traveling for your study purposes or for your recreation purpose or with your dad and moms. Be aware that there is nothing in your mobile phone left, or you can really fall prey to it. Now, let me make you aware of something, I think, which you should be already aware. You all love to download a lot of movies via BitTorrent. I repeat, you love to download movies, videos, and MP3 songs via BitTorrent. And when you do so, you must be knowing BitTorrent is free to use, like peer-to-peer service. And whenever you click on that BitTorrent's torrent link, you must have seen that a lot of porn pictures or porn videos are being shown on the left and right hand side of your screens. Many times what happens is these clips get downloaded on your mobile phone without your knowledge, or on your laptops without your knowledge. So be careful that if they get downloaded in your mobile phones or your laptop. Now I want to tell you the position of law here. See, in IT Act 2000, that is the cyber law of our country, Section 67B of the IT Act, I repeat, Section 67B of the IT Act is for child pornography. And Section 67A is for pornography. And 67 is for obscenity. Purposefully, I have gone in the reverse order just to tell you 67B is very dangerous. 67B may, what happens is, the punishment is up to 7 years, fine is up to 10 lakhs and media attention is for free. So, because the moment media finds out that there is a child porn found on your mobile phone or you've been arrested for such kind of reasons, then they just want to glorify you further by not covering it by saying, "Ye dekho jallad dekh raha tha, child pornography or pedophile or ye wo karke." And what is the most important point here is ki whatever you get, whatever this news gets covered in the media, it remains there. So tomorrow, if you are trying to apply for foreign universities, they do a Reiki on what is your net avatar. Who does? The visa giving people, the visa department does a Reiki on you. And when they do this Reiki, they may find this news that you were accused in child pornography or pornography related matter, and your visa would be maybe rejected without giving any reasons. And I have seen many cases of people people from good background, good family, boys and girls, visa gets rejected, and later when inquired, many times you don't know, but then when you do your self investigation, you find out that it was because of pornographic related incidents which happened. So be careful, guys. You can, so what does the law in India say? Can you watch porn? Yes, you can watch porn, but in your houses, in private places, in private devices, and porn above the age of 18 years. So I gave you all the qualified way how do you watch porns. See, but you can watch, you cannot transmit. What do you mean by transmit? WhatsApp pe forward nahi kar sakte aap. That is a crime. That is a crime under section 67A. 5 साल तक की सजा पहली बार, 7 साल की सजा दूसरी बार. That means it's a non-bailable, cognizable offense. So bail भी नहीं मिलेगा. Be careful when you're forwarding. Bombay High Court in one of the judgment had allowed to watch porn. I said that watching porn in your houses is not a crime in private places. What is public place? Now I'm going to share a case with you. Normally this is a case, very funny case. I keep sharing. There was this Parsi Baba who was a retired Parsi person. He was retired as a CEO from a company. And he used to always travel at the Dadar Parsi colony. And while he was traveling, he used to pass through one signal. And below the signal, there were 2-3 police officers, young police officers, just recruited kind of stuff. They used to look at him and laugh at him, You know what they say, Ganda Baba and all this. So Ganda means mad. So, and he used to look at him and say, make fun of them, corrupt say, cheat say, blah, blah. So they used to have little tiff. One fine day when he was returning from his walk, he was speaking on his mobile phone and the signal turns green. The moment signal turns green, in India, we have this honking habit. People keep honking behind you. So if somebody was honking behind him, so under his pressure, he accelerates his scooty, little scooty. The scooty loses the balance and he and scooty goes and dashes into those 3 police fellas. Now this 3 police fellas wanted a chance to take revenge from this Baba. They lift him and his scooty and take him to the police station. Now, what is this crime? This is rash and negligent driving crime. In India, Salman Khan kills 3-4 people is still outside. So rash and negligent driving is not considered as a big crime if you per se ask me. So what is this young police officer does is, in India, when you arrest someone, they take all your belongings. The police takes all your belongings. And later, so mobile phone was part of it. So this young police officer starts seeing ki Baba ke mobile mein kya hai. And once he was seeing, he gets a lot of porn clips. Now what happens is the charge is altered on him. Instead of rash and negligent driving, they say that he was watching porn at the signal and hence the accident happened. So watching porn at public place. And then, this guy is taken inside, and then his, this is the Parsi Baba who retired as CEO. Imagine the respect he has in family and etc. Now his Bahu and Beta is called, and they have to negotiate his bail and talk to the police, etc. And now what happens is whenever he goes to some functions, this mischievous boys comes and talk to him like, "Kaka, kuch hai kya tere mobile mein?" So so he becomes a talk of the time, and a little social issue happens. So be aware what you carry on mobile phones can paint your image too. And then let me also make you aware that whatever you're downloading, now I'll give you a case that a person could understand better. I had a student who came to me. He was a MIT dropout, not the Mumbai MIT, the US MIT dropout. And in his second year itself, he had secured a job and was working for a nice company, etc. But then it so happened that he had a girlfriend in India he was supposed to get married, and she ditches him. So this guy gets hysteric and starts some medicine over there, anxiety, etc. So when it comes to India, he's into a lot of porn and he downloads a lot of porn, etc. What happens is once you start doing all this, your Google or all your ad search, ad tech, senses that you love porn. So on whenever I used to open some Google sites, etc., on the left hand side, a lot of porn links used to pop up. Then this guy thought that somebody's hacking into my computer, and he's knowing that what I'm doing is the night before. He came to me saying, "So my computer needs to be done vulnerability analysis and penetration testing. Do VAPT on my laptop. Small laptops. Why you want to do all this?" Then he says, "No, there's someone who is always watching me, and I get this ads because of him." And he went on to the length by saying that yesterday that there was even when I was, he was traveling in his lift below, in his lift from the building, and there was a young couple, and he was saying that young couple was looking at me and giggling and smiling. He even tried to correlate the smiling and giggling of this young couple to what he is saying. So, young couples are their own world. They don't carry, they don't care who is looking at them. But yet, he became hysteric. He became problematic. He lost his mind. And we get, my law firm, my office gets lots of cases, where people call up and they come up with this kind of scenario that my mobile is getting hacked. Some satellite is hacking me and seeing what I'm seeing and all that. So excessive porn also leads to psychological defects because of the technology what we are looking at right now. So be careful. So coming back to what is the law, to be more specific, like I told you about, section 67 is for obscenity. I'm talking about the IT Act 2000 or the cyber law. 67, the punishment is up to 3 years of imprisonment. Section 67A, it is up to 5 years for the first offense, 7 years for the second offense. So for second offense, it becomes non-bailable offense. And section 67B, it is, as I told you, it's 7 years and 10 lakhs. And you would be surprised to know that in section 67B, it is written, forget you watched porn. That is offense. Even if you search for child sex, teen sex, school-going girls, school-going boys, and it's a gender neutral section. It's not only for girls or one sex. It's all for anything. Abusing, anything below 18 years, you're even searching on your website, section 67B applies. Be careful. It says even if you search, download, upload, share, do whatever, forward, everywhere section 67B apply. Now what I do is, you cannot control people in the WhatsApp group, but you can always pass a disclaimer. So you guys also, if you are in some group and you want to buy the design of the group, you want to remain the group, and you find some nutcase who forwards child porn or porn, rather more of child porn, then you make him aware. Tell him that you will not do it again, delete it. And if he keeps doing it, remove him from the group, or you get removed from the group. or you would be considered as abettor in forwarding such kind of videos or groups. So be aware, since we are doing what is this? Nikita has some question. You want to ask a question? Vedant? There's a hand there. Anyways, so if there is such kind of questionnaire, such kind of incident which is happening in the group, and it's always better to get out of that group. It is always better that you leave the group until it gets dangerous. Now, I'll also share some case when there is an organization in the US. It's made up out of Justice, Ministry of Justice, obviously with police, etc. And it's an NGO type of organization, but made with the state organizations. It actually does research because they have a tool, and they find out the person who is forwarding, uploading child pornography related stuff, and then it informs the Minister of Home Affairs in Delhi, and Delhi informs different state polices. You won't believe, in Maharashtra alone, in last 2 years, we have arrested 600 people who were found doing this on an online medium. And this data had come from none other than from US to MHA and MHA to Maharashtra Cyber, and Maharashtra Cyber took an action on this. So be careful when doing things in why you are not careful. I also should tell you this. First, now I believe you guys are from IT background, or you're doing some kind of IT programs. So, you shouldn't have this overconfidence that no one can see us. Police to akal nahi hai usko. Because police will show that unko akal nahi hai. Lekin, if you can see so much amount of crime being stopped from not happening, that means there is something. Or darknet, and darknet everything is available. This is city of Mumbai. You get everything in the corner. In spite of you getting everything in the corner, the crime rate from the weapons or the drugs from the darknet is not that much. Why it is not that much? Because we are policed very well. So obviously we may not be at the standard of what other police is done, but we are policing even darknet. Since you guys are from IT, let me tell you, policing the darknet is a tough thing. When I was in US and talking to an FBI agent who actually brought down the Silk Route of darknet, a young chap, a young cyber-related chap. So I had one-to-one with him because I had been invited by Department of State of US government, and I was the FBI Homeland Security office, and I was talking to this guy. There's a young guy, and he said that not every case they also could crack. They could crack this case not because only of investigating skills, cyber investigating skills. It was also because of a lot of other investigating skills. So without tools, even in Mumbai, let me give you this case. There was a case where people were selling IPL tickets in darknet. So black IPL tickets in darknet. Now they're doing this. So so the police team we were mulling on how do we get into this, and we were having a very short time. We wanted to crack this case, and but then we came up with this thing that somewhere, even if the person is selling the ticket, he has to take physical delivery of the ticket somewhere. The money may be transferred via cryptocurrency, but there has to be a physical ticket delivery. So we were having very less resources. So we started tracking how the physical delivery will happen. And when the physical delivery was getting happened, we could get both the person, the buyer, the seller's person, and the buyer itself. And then we could go reverse engineer the whole thing. What is the modus operandi, etc. and then we arrested those people, but no newspaper reported that we actually arrested by doing operation in the darknet. But you could see logic is important and how to investigate things. So things are happening here around the corner. Even darknet gets policed, but not all cases may get reported because it has to have some value to the whole system. Then only things can get reported. Now, I also should make you aware, saying the girls and boys, there is a website named cybercrime.gov.in. I repeat, there is a website called cybercrime.gov.in. This is Ministry of Home Affairs website. You guys, if you have some kind of cybercrime, specifically if girls are facing some kind of cybercrime, like it is obscenity related or defamation related, then you can actually go to this website. There are two options. One is for the girls and ladies, and one is for general crimes. Girls and ladies, the girls and the children's get preference on this website. You can file a case and they forward it to the local police station or the cybercrime police station, and the action is taken. And they monitor what is happening. If you go to the other side, cybercrime option, you can file cases related to anything, data theft, hacking, or online somebody is abusing you, etc. So cybercrime.gov.in is the online apparatus for first level reporting. Now let me make you aware that filing or typing something on cybercrime.gov.in does not mean that you have filed an FIR. FIR gets filed only in the police station. So once they will forward it, once it gets forwarded from the online website, chances of FIR getting filed are high. Now you would say, does FIR get filed so easily? Then let me come back to you and say that we as a law firm provide this service of filing FIR, not for you kids, it's only for corporates. So imagine that filing of FIR itself is a service of a law firm, and we are experts in that. So you can imagine how difficult in India it is to file an FIR. Even you won't believe, it may be even the richest person in our country, they have taken our services. In India, Indian police can actually write some thesis on how not to file an FIR, or how to give 100 reasons so that the accused doesn't file an FIR. And they, remember my point, they even give reasons to a rape victim or to a murder victim also, or half murder victim also. They'll give you some genuine reasons that you may be persuaded to not file an FIR. Okay, so that's India, my dear friends, and you really can't go behind the police and can expect great amount of justice. That's because also of the amount of population, the amount of cyberspace proliferation. So what is the right thing to do in this case? The right thing to do is, if you learn something about cybercrime related things, awareness here is the key. When it comes to cybersecurity, how do we make our social culture cyber secure? How can you be cyber secure? How can your organization, how can your family become cyber secure? See, for to become cyber secure, you cannot purchase tools after tools. You need to become yourself cyber resilient. How do you become cyber resilient? You can become cyber resilient when you are cyber aware. You are aware about what cyber security pitfalls are, what are the solutions. And once you're aware about this, then you need to pass it on to your peers, your friends, your buddies, and you need to make them aware. You need to make your senior people aware in your family, the younger people aware in your family. And once the whole family is aware, you become resilient. And when you are resilient, only then you can resist cyber crimes. Take it from me, cyber crimes are even inflicted on judges. Cyber crimes are even inflicted on police. Just to share an example in the lighter note. When you lose some 5,000 because of Paytm, when you go and tell them, sir, हमको वो lottery का ही आया था, हमने पैसा भर दिया, they'll pull out a phone and say, मेरे को भी आया था, मेरा भी गया 10,000. So they are also party to this kind of frauds. They, in short, let me tell you, since you are from Wilson College, you know where the police headquarters is, in the Crawford Market. There is a ATM below in the police headquarters. Axis Bank headquarters in the police headquarters was looted by fraudsters. They cloned everybody's card and they actually withdrew the police salary out of it. So can imagine how cyber criminals function. They don't spare. They don't, because they don't know. They don't know you. They don't know your face, who you are. It is up to you to protect yourself. Now, why I'm saying you and why I'm not putting this on state or police, because they are doing their jobs. But ultimately, if you lose your money, it's your own money. So you have to be careful. Greed is the most important reason when it comes to this people who are losing left and right money. Every day I get calls, many calls, people who lose the money. And now seniors are losing money, juniors are losing money, kids are losing money on, they end up in losing their dads or nanas hard-earned money on games, buying lakhs and lakhs of rupees merchandise or points or gun bullets on the games. This game is becoming another a pain point and the whole ecosystem of cybersecurity. Now, you guys are in the age of AI. So because of AI, there are unique challenges. In fact, I would want to give you a tip and a guidance on this is whatever projects you guys select now, you should select projects which are around artificial intelligence or machine learning or autonomous vehicles or robotics. This is the future where you should start planning. Rather, I was in MIT, I think in 2015, and so they were showing me around in MIT, and so I happened to visit because I love automobile industry. So I happened to visit that department. And in 2015, they were having a bridge course which was upgrading them to autonomous vehicles management. They're having small robots, and I actually sat with Atlas, the robot Atlas, and took photographs. So the point is, we need to go there now. AI is another challenge in cybersecurity. AI by itself is not an intelligent thing. It can, instead of it actually, they mark my point, it actually solving our problems. Some problems it can aggravate, and those problems we may not have solutions immediately, because finding where the problem is would take some time when the complexity of AI algorithmic things increases. So you can really work on this. There's a lot of things to work on. Algorithmic biases one, and you must be thinking that ये सब तो US में होता है, India में क्या होता है. Just don't never think about it. Or ये जो data analytics है, या you're talking about finding the bias in data or issues in data. This happens only in US. This is ultimate wrong, because India is the land of data. You generate tons of data, terabytes of data here in India, and AI ML is going to sit on this. And in India, seriousness about things and with the culture gets teetered. So you need to do research here. Here there'll be problems. World is going to come here because the data set what you want to get for research is from here. Because the diversity, the cultural diversity, the linguistic diversity, the food diversity, the way people look and speak is huge here. So the problems are huge. Solving the problem in AI, what is called as India, would actually catapult you to the world stage. So mark my point. The problems are here in AI, and you solve it here, not in US. So if you even take whatever I told you, if you look at autonomous vehicle, see, if you follow me on LinkedIn or Twitter, I keep giving such kind of problems. In some days before, I had muted this problem on like algorithmic bias in an autonomous vehicle. If the autonomous vehicle, when it is on road and because it is going to be intelligent based on a data set. Someone is going to train them, and it has this. It is in just take an example. Like suppose it is near Sayan Dharavi. Everybody is aware of Sayan Dharavi, where you get those leather market, and Mumbai it will definitely be. Forget that, it's on Pedder Road, and now it has two people. It's in this those Pedder Road ka gullies, small gully, and in the gully it has two people before him. It's in the particular speed, at the speed of 70, 80, because it's a downward shift. The road has a slope, and it sees two people. If it goes on the left, it kills a rich person, and goes on the right, it kills a worker, who works, the maid or someone. Okay, someone is to be killed. There's no other way of option. Who gets killed? Just imagine. It depends upon what kind of data set and how enriched the data set is, how it has learned that what is the importance of a person in the social setup. So all this is going to matter. Now you also can think on this. In US they talk about racial bias, and India. So even though whatever we say secular, we added on our constitution, we are by genetic racial people. So we still practice. If we don't practice in our city of Mumbai, they practice in their villages. So, and it will take still another 50, 100 years to remove that bias from our head. So same would be our data sets. So they have to get matured over the time. You cannot have a mature data set as of date today and try to, the problem can get solved. Cybersecurity problems can get solved even with the data set which you're thinking about, which is alien to Indian culture. So culture has its own role when it comes to cybersecurity. Even so, in some cultures, people have become much more cyber secure, and some cultures, people are not become very cyber secure. And why do you have this cybersecurity problem? Because technology has been entrusted on Indian IT users. So your dada, nana, they were not using apps for banking, or apps for pension, or apps for managing their financial assets. And what has happened suddenly because of all this government initiatives, Digital India, they are forced to use this. And second huge problem is you don't have vernacular languages in these apps. Hindi nahi hai, Gujarati nahi hai, Assamese nahi hai, Bengali nahi hai, Sida English. It gets difficult. They don't find it easy to read and interpret in their own language. That creates another set of problem in cybersecurity related education. So when you talk in India about cybersecurity, you have to talk languages, which we rarely do. Now I keep fighting across government policy makers of on national TVs, on Rajya Sabha TV when I'd gone. And when this CoWIN app was getting launched, we had this NIC's Director General with me on Rajya Sabha TV. And my first point was, please have the full help in Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, whatever language it is. And the same is with the Aadhaar app. So we actually gave them advice. I actually gave them advice on national TVs and various platforms that we need to have all this in vernacular languages. So then we actually can do digital kranti in India. Or else what we're doing is we're just following the bandwagon which is happening in the West, and that doesn't suit us. That doesn't help us to make our society cyber resilient, or we'll still be more weaker because of one important factor, that is language. So you guys, you're young guys, you do your projects. When you do your projects, please address this, because when you do it, or when you have your own startups, and when you think about India, this has to be in your thought process, that how do we do it? How do we solve the problem in India, even on then the rest of the world problems get solved easily because English is there. Many of them is the first language. Be proud of your own languages too. So cybersecurity as a topic today, if you take, now people keep on asking me about career options. Now I've got some 10 minutes. I'm going to speak on your career options in cybersecurity. So don't focus only on those idiot box, your computer, on your mobile. So you don't rule the world with the apps. Because I always meet people, young people, they keep talking only about apps. why you only talk about apps? Career is even then in cybersecurity systems and SCADA systems. Industrial cybersecurity is a big frontier, which you should tap. Uh, what is industrial cybersecurity? Like Siemens, like big companies like Siemens, Philips, etc. They make huge uh, machines which do huge jobs in industrial. Yeah. They are interconnected. They also have embedded systems in it, and they have vulnerabilities. These embedded systems talk to real world systems, operational systems. They talk to when they talk to each other. You can have malicious code being. I just put a small malicious code in an open port of a Siemens based system, and it doesn't work. Just imagine, I'm giving an example. Just imagine JSW, everybody knows, right? Jindal Steel. I think that's their HQ is there somewhere in a better road only. So they they have Asia's biggest boiler, so which or smelter they have in their iron factory. Just imagine someone writes a code and shuts it off for even few hours or in the night. They would take another 3 days to make it on, because once it is cold, getting it on. So imagine the cascading loss because of this code. So uh, industrial cybersecurity is the next big frontier. I had some days before return that S or everybody knows about IoT because you must be reading, working on it. So Internet of Things. So I had sarcastically written that S is missing in IoT. So and S was security. So there, anyways, there is no S in IoT. But yet, yes, S is missing. Even P is missing. Just for the enlightened. What is P? P is privacy. All those IOC based systems will miss security because of the less overhead. You have less memory. You have less what do you call? So because of less memory, you have less RAM. So less amount of scanners you can implant, and less amount of bandwidth it can procure. And then see, we are making smart cities. Are you making smart cities, or you're making smart and dangerous cities for they to get compromised because of these IoTs? Thanks to the Indo-China war, this Chinese stuff has suddenly reduced. So the pain points have reduced a bit, but it has left India more vulnerable, because what happens to the old CCTVs, old systems what China had actually dumped on into India, we're still going on because they are under warranty. So aren't they compromised? Yes, they compromised. Aren't those power systems or cybersecurity in the power sector not compromised? Yes, it is compromised. Isn't the cybersecurity in the telecom sector, including switches, etc., not compromised? It is compromised. So what are you doing about it? India is a land of God. We are God's own country, and many times God only saves us. So I keep feeling that there is a lot of big hand of God in India's cybersecurity issues. So I even said this in Estonia, where you have cyber warfare symposium where everybody from across the world comes. As you must be knowing, my research is in cyber warfare, and you must be thinking that as being advocate, I'm talking about all these technical things. I'm MSc Computer Science. You must be aware. So I am one amongst you, just wearing the different coat. So that gives me a huge leverage. And why did I leave IT and joined lawyering? Intuition. I love it, and that's my passion. So I'm good because I'm working what my passion is. And because my passion is, I don't feel that I'm working. So when I was in IT, I used to feel I'm working. Now it is just fun. So you also should pursue whatever seems fun to you. Now today in IT, whatever has been taught to you or what is in your syllabus, you have to come out of all that and think about application of whatever you have learned. And frontiers are amazing. Try and find a frontier which is of passion to you. You can do masters there, PhD there, research on those topics. And because of internet, you have too much amount of info for making you mature enough. Cybersecurity is one of the frontier. Now, in my field, like cyber law, people now used to come and ask all the time, ask me, well, how do I do cyber law, etc. And now my advice to them is, now when I started, it was just cyber law. Now there are even branches in cyber law, like fintech has come in. Fintech, everybody's aware, right? Financial technology, all the apps, etc. Fintech is there. Make career in fintech. You can make career in e-commerce. Completely different thing. Working on e-commerce. You have robotics. Only work on robotics. You have cryptocurrency. You can have career in cryptocurrency. You have career in blockchain, specific to blockchain. I only do blockchain. Passionately, you can really survive there in blockchains. As I told you, can be on IoT, or you can be on industrial systems. You can make your career in autonomous vehicles. Now you have EV. Now you see now how disruptive things are happening. Like automobile engineer. What were they doing? They're working on this ICE, this internal combustion engine, and suddenly that is going to vanish. So they have an electric motor there. So now electrical engineers are finding a new scope in EVs. You IT people will have a new scope in EVs, where you require sophisticated battery controller. Even cybersecurity will come in, so that cars are not hacked, and cars have been enoughly patched. So see the application of cybersecurity or cyber arena. It's everywhere now. Now I'm going to share a case with you, and then I'll stop for some questions. A very interesting case. Well, I know after 40 minutes people get, that's Harvard research. After 40 minutes you don't listen. You start hearing, and I don't like people to address who are hearing. So the last example I want to give is about we had this case in this was in US. This guy had a heart pacemaker in his heart, because of wrongly rhythmic heart he was having. This guy was a fraudster. What he did, because he wanted to settle his bank's money, some loan amount, he cried fox. What he did, he burnt his own house. खुद के घर में आग लगा दिया. And before burning, he threw away all the valuables like fridge, TV, AC, जो भी कुछ उठा के microwave उठा के बाहर फेंक दिया. And he was claiming fire insurance. Now see this bugger. Now what happens is, in US everything works around insurance. In India, we are in the education phase of insurance. So in US, they immediately appoint a surveyor who's an investigator in itself. He's a detective kind of a guy. He started investigating, and he finds out that this guy has a problem with the heart and he has a pacemaker. What he does is he subpoenas the pacemaker itself. वो पुलिस को बोल के उसके हार्ट में से पेसमेकर निकाल लेता है, और वो पेसमेकर he goes to the police station and puts it on the laptop. And what are they checking? At the time this bugger says that I threw all this, आप समझ रहे हो ना, टीवी उठा के बाहर फेंका, मतलब your heart has to show a spike, heart beat has to show a spike. And when he was claiming that he threw everything out, there was no spike. He had actually hired one person who took everything out, and then he burnt the house. That was the story. So now the pacemaker was used as a evidence against this man. Pacemaker can get accessed from outside. Imagine hacking the pacemaker. The different types of pacemaker. मतलब चलते बोलते आदमी को तुमको पहुंचाना है, तो hack the pacemaker or have a EMP device जिससे pacemaker बंद कर देगा उसका. So things can happen wildly. I had a case where उसका pacemaker got blasted in his heart only, उसके अंदर ही. So things can be done differently in this age when you are having such kind of connectivity which is everywhere. Everything is connected. Everything is been observed. Everything what is been spoken is listened to. Last tip, you all young boys and girls, don't keep phone in your bedrooms. Don't keep phone in your private moments. Don't keep phone when you are dating around, or multiple dating, whatever you want to do of your life. Your phone is a piece which is observing you, even if your dad and moms are not. You are this fang, which is called, like Amazon, Netflix, Google, and Facebook. Fang, they have this algorithm which is already watching, which already has a personality, which already has a count of your boyfriends and girlfriends and what you do with them. They have everything about you. Okay, so just be aware, just be secure, just be cyber safe. So not only you are cyber safe, but the world around you is cyber safe. Thank you for calling me, and thank you for listening to me patiently. I'll take some questions from you guys.
Yes, sir. We'll be opening the chat box for questions. If anybody wants to ask their question, they can raise their hand as well. So far, we have some questions that have been sent through messages to our team. So, like, sir, you were saying, previously you were in IT, and then you decided that you want to go specifically into cyber law. And so based on that, what path should a student follow if they want to go into cyber law, or what steps should they take?
Okay, now your graduation is the basic thing, right? You guys are from which year? You're from?
So it's a mix, but mostly we're from third year.
Third year, okay, good. So third year, what? BSc IT or BSc Computer Science?
So that is also mixed.
Yeah,
Mostly
okay.
it's IT. There's students from commerce and arts and all over. So.
Okay, it's good. So normally, if you ask me, we have this law firm called Cyber Law Consulting. So we normally prefer interns who have done BSc IT or BSc Computer Science or further studies, BTech, etc. After this, if you want to go in the cyber law field, you can join 3 years LLB program. So one option is there. This people have not done their graduation, they also have this option of BSc LLB, BTech LLB from UPS, etc. Those universities provide this, doing this. LLB is the basic. First, know that if you want to be called yourself as a lawyer or advocate, without LLB doing any courses, even from national law universities, you will not be called a lawyer. So after LLB, you can do your LLM in technology law, or now you get a lot of options. Technology and IPR. You have other options of data technology and data privacy, because data privacy, I feel it's raw for you, but in next 3 years, it will catch up like wildfire in India specifically, even though we don't respect anybody's privacy in India. But then because of compliance, it will definitely catch up, because there'll be fines and jail time for people not following privacy. So it's good that you do LLB. And there are some universities even giving specialization if LLB in cyber law. I know one university, that is UPS in Dehradun, but I don't know what are other universities. You can have a search on it. Yeah, thank you. Which countries, according to you, has the best cyber laws? India. So see, India is latest. So we are good at, we have India's 3 national keys: cut, copy, and paste. I think you all must be also expert in all that, cut, copy, paste. So our legislators are also expert in this. So when we enact a law which is late, we all get latest cut, copy, pasting. So India has, and obviously definitely European Union has better laws than us. Recently, a TikTok video showing social media app was banned by the Supreme Court, giving the reason promotes pornography among children. That banning TikTok was the right decision. Because TikTok was not banned because the whole of TikTok is banned now, actually. So, but TikTok was not banned because of child pornography or pornographic. TikTok was banned because of the Indo-China thing, which was happening when the war erupted. But if you ask me, banning things, does it help? In India, ban karega to things increase exponentially. In Gujarat, they drink more liquor than in Maharashtra. So, and when you ban some porns, suddenly, I want to share a case. Suddenly, Calcutta High Court banned some 800 pornographic websites. Today, we may have 8,000 pornographic websites, and everybody knows where it comes from. And in fact, I have this very famous client. Bollywood client called Sunny Leone. And that time the case was on, like sunnyleone.com case was happening. And she actually came to my house. I stay in Lokhandwala, Andheri. She came and asked me, "Maine kya kiya?" Just imagine Sunny Leone asking me, "Usne kya kiya?" But anyways, whatever she did was on the shores of US where porn is legal. In India, she actually didn't shoot any porn here. But the moment, Calcutta High Court banned some 880 pornographic sites, and her site was not banned. She again came back to me and asked me, that means my site is legal. So banning is not a solution because you can't ban each and everything. Yeah. Next question or
Yes, another question that we've got asked is, are public Wi-Fi's really as vulnerable as they are depicted, or how much should we, avoid connecting to them, or can we actually trust them to some extent?
see, anything public is vulnerable and anything public is non-trusty. Keep that rule in your mind. So if you're carrying your phone which has a lot of data, or you're doing your banking or something very important, don't surf on public Wi-Fi. Public Wi-Fi I'm giving an example. Like suppose, can you do your banking on Dadar railway station or Churchgate railway station? You can't, right? Why? Because a public platform. There's no secrecy there. 1:1. Window नहीं है पैसा cash देने के लिए. बस वही है. So public Wi-Fi is always dangerous. Keep that in mind. Yeah. Next one. How can we protect ourselves from online frauds? How can you protect? Don't do transactions. Then you'll get protected from online frauds. There is no one tip for you not getting protected, saved from online frauds. It's how you behave. There are so many tips you'll get on your banking websites also. Please do follow those tips given by your banks and by RBI and various TV programs time to time. Nivedita Patra. Can police track any individual's phone without any official reason? And if they found anything, then what reason they will give, like why they were tracking? Okay. See, if there is a reason for tracking, they can track. Like if your phone is involved in some kind of crime, you're party to a crime, or they suspect you, they can track you. And after tracking, they come to know that that you are not the actual suspect. Bad luck. Can't say more than that. Because after they suspect you and then they find that you're actually doing, I had a case where there was for income tax, the laptop was taken off a businessman, and for seeing the accounts, and the income tax commissioner called me. She was a lady commissioner. Sir, ये इसका hard disk पूरा pornography से भरा है, अभी मैं क्या करूँ? It was confiscated for what? For seeing the tax evasion and accounting related. और मिला क्या उसके अंदर बहुत सारा porn. मैंने बोला, I think you should stick to the brief. If you find a lot of hard disk when you're doing transaction with Indian taxpayers, बहुत कुछ मिलेगा ऐसा. सब जगह पे केस करेगा तो फिर कैसे काम चलेगा? And that was my actual advice given to her. Yeah. As far as GUI is concerned, is this Abigail Dias? Sorry if I'm spelling your name wrong. Yeah. As for government concerned, what is the stance on cybersecurity in terms of funds allocation and laws? This is a very financial question, but what fund allocation? Fund allocation to cybercrime awareness. Yes, it is being done. They have even appointed some kind of cyber sathis and women who will teach the last mile. मतलब एकदम गांव खेड़े में कैसे use करने का ये government apps, because the governance is now delivered via apps. So a lot of money has been spent there. Obviously, it's India, so खाना खिलाना चल रहा है वहाँ पे भी. So how should students spread cyber awareness? I was expecting that question. Good. So Vedant अपना Vedant, ये अभी क्या कर रहे हैं हम लोग? You should have publicized this link to a lot of people. Awareness ऐसे ही फैलता है. So make some clips, make some videos, make some presentations. And you also, if you are in art, you can have this road plays. So वो भी चलता है. डफली बजा के, गांव खेड़े में जाके, all this, any medium whatever you feel that people are going to read and get sensitive about it, any medium which they understand, that's good for you. How do I know that there's a complaint or FIR filed against me? I want to apply for visa for US. JTK. हाँ भाई, कुछ किया क्या जय? कांड किया लगता है तूने कुछ. Anyways, until unless police comes knocking to you, you will not know. And if you want some professional service, you can come to us. We'll charge you and find out in every police station if JTK is a notorious person. Don't worry. Nothing is there against you. Don't worry. Niharika Rawat, what is the extent to which Amazon algorithm can have access to your... what is the extent? Whatever you are shopping and whatever you are searching. We handled a case where the father was not knowing that her daughter, his daughter, it was not directly me, but in the group, that his daughter was pregnant. He only came to know when Amazon had sent coupons which were for baby diapers. He was astonished, aghast. When my daughter is not pregnant, she is still not 18 or 16. She was not 16. So, but then Amazon was knowing that because she must have searched either contraceptive or she must have searched on Google that, when was medically termination possible, in which week, etc., etc. And then the algorithm calculated that she is possibly pregnant. And so this, you guys are from data analytics, you know how data gets analyzed. So they go at the deepest level. And you can see, Google is constantly listening. If you don't believe, I think everyone must be believing now, no? Google abhi bhi sun raha hai apne ko. Ab bolo, you just see ek kuch demand farmaish karo ghar mein ya between two of your friends and you'll get those ads next day. Or Amazon is showing you that product with discounts sometimes. Oh yeah, the questions are finished. You're having some? Chahana, you're having some questions? Unmute.
So we got one more question. So is VPN really anonymous?
Abhi I was expecting you want to ask me a question. Is Proton Mail really anonymous? Proton Mail anonymous नहीं है, वो भी बता देते हैं गवर्नमेंट को कि IP address क्या है. See, nothing is anonymous. अगर आपको धंधा करना है, धंधा मतलब if you want to do business of this IT services, there is the law of the land. आपके लॉ को नहीं मानेगा तो जिस कंट्री में वो बैठा है उसका लॉ मानना ही है, नहीं तो बंद कर देगा उसको. ये थंब रूल याद रखने का. Nothing is anonymous. It will take just time. And if you are tapped into, तो कोई टाइम ही नहीं, आपको रियल टाइम में देख रहे हैं लोग. क्या इंडिया में देखता है? इंडिया में भी देखता है. जहाँ स्विचेस होता है ना, जहाँ से आपका इंटरनेट फ्लो होता है, वहां पे पैरेलल क्लोन स्विचेस लगा के रखते हैं लॉ एनफोर्समेंट, और आईपी पैकेट लेवल पे भी सर्च करते हैं. सो ऐसा कुछ खाब सपनों में मत रहो कि VPN एकदम एनोनिमस है और ये तुमको बचाएगा, वो तुमको बचाएगा. कुछ बचा नहीं. एनोनिमिटी इज अ, what do you call, I didn't get a word. So just privacy is myth. Anonymity is a myth in the cyberspace. You are no longer anonymous. Koi nahi anonymous. It's not you, but your habits are also not anonymous. So many may know it. So thank you very much. Well, great talking to you guys, and best of luck. Be a good IT, security, cyber safety warriors. The people need you all the time. India needs you. सिर्फ बाहर जाने का खाब मत देखो. India is also happening. Make your career here, and you also can be millionaires here. So God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking out precious time to come and give us this informative session. It was much needed as cyber crimes are increasing, and if we don't understand the laws, then it will be kind of difficult for us to survive. I would like to call our HOD.
I'm putting my Twitter handle on this, so my chat is disabled. So
we'll just enable it.
Enable.
Yeah, we enabled it. Yeah, we enabled it.
Yeah, okay, good. My Twitter handle is, I'm on Instagram as Prashant Mali Cyber Lawyer. And this is my Twitter handle. I'm on LinkedIn. You can search me, type my name on Google, you'll get all my details.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Prashant. So for this informative session, what you have given to kids, starting from what sites to avoid accessing, and even if you want to access, what are the mobile hygiene, what they have to follow in this kind of situation. So, and to the AI, to it seems that you are a truly a MSc computer science student still there, even though you shifted your pace to cyber laws. So thank you for your insight, what you have given to us. I hope every student who have been there, or any faculty and their kids are being there, they're got aware about the laws and about the information what you have shared, and about even the career opportunities what you have given them. So thank you very much. One girl was asking, even after BA, can she do cyber laws? I think so, from the YouTube chats which are happening. Can they do BA?
After BA also you can do cyber law, but you need to have that technical upskilling somewhat, maybe a little difficult, but if you can take the data privacy route, it is much simpler there, because less of technical things over there. So after BA you can do your LLB, and then possibly LLM in data privacy, or GDPR or something of that. So that will help you great there.
Great. So thank you once again, Mr. Prashant, and hoping to have such sessions more for having cyber awareness. I think so Vedant Gupta would lead for cyber awareness in our college now, under your guidance. So thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
All the students are requested to make sure you fill the feedback form, and those of you who are on YouTube, we will be sending the form on the chat as well. So make sure you fill it. Please don't forget.
So we'll be now joining to our second session. Yeah, Chana.
Yes, sir.
Great. Just a second. So thank you everyone once again. So we are ending the stream.